This is the Midway Region, a Pokemon region based on the Midwest. And today, we are continuing our journey through the Midway Region, looking at each of the Pokemon types. And today's type is the Electric type. So, there aren't too many Electric types actually found in the Midway Region. In fact, there are only 5 new ones. That being said, let's take this opportunity to go through each one with a bit more detail than we normally would. Let's start off with Midway's Pikachu clone. This is Jidamunk, a pure electric type and the Chipmunk Pokemon. Jidamunk is a quick little Pokemon that will run around the forest looking for food. They use their enormous cheek pouches to convert food directly into electricity, giving them a lot of energy. Jidamunk is based on a Chipmunk. Since we already had a squirrel-based Pikachu clone with Pachirisu, I figured I would make a Chipmunk instead. I had fun designing Jidamunk. I think with its fun body shape, it makes for a cool little guy. Jidamunk does not evolve. However, it is compatible with the strange energy found in certain parts throughout Midway that certain compatible Pokemon can use to gain 2 new forms, since dubbed urban and rural forms. But I want to save that reveal for later. As a kid, did you ever see those commercials about Mr. Ouch? They show this black electric monster thing and use it as a way to scare children from touching their electric boxes in their yard. It worked, since I never wanted to go near mine. That being said, I thought, let's just make Mr. Ouch into a Pokemon. While designing this Pokemon, I came to the conclusion that it kinda looked like Spiritomb. I was going to change it after realizing that, but instead I decided to lean into it. This is Zapatomb, an electric and ghost type. Zapatomb are found after a large mass of electrical energy enters an electric box, at the same time as a lost soul from the land long ago begins to make its way to the next world. Now, being stuck in a corporeal electric box, they're often resentful and full of rage. You do not want to be attacked by a Zapatomb. Originally, I considered making Zapatomb an electric and dark type, but I figured the ghost type would fit better, plus I wanted to share some type with Spiritomb since it is a convergent form after all. Let me know in the comments if you would catch yourself a Zapatomb, or if you have any neat ideas for potential Midway Pokemon. I read all the comments, and some of the best ideas might just make it in it. When winter rolls around in the Midway region, you can find yourself a Rabbizing, an ice and electric type. These little guys will bounce around in packs, but since it's so cold and dry, their fur will create tons of static electricity, and will oftentimes get stuck together. You might think this is a hindrance to them, but what would you do against the giant, angry, Rabbizing snowball heading towards you? Giving Rabbizing a Thunderstone will make it evolve into Rabbizap, an ice and electric type. Since Thunderstones are rather rare in the areas that Rabbizap live, they aren't very common to find in the wild. However, they can be found on the coldest nights, staring up at the moon. The idea behind these two actually started at my place of work. Every winter, when it gets cold and dry, I will constantly be getting shocked by static. And I said to myself, you know what, Static? I'm going to turn you into a Pokemon. So, I took an Arctic hare, a wild rabbit, and I made a cold, dry, static rabbit Pokemon. This next Pokemon originated in my turning sports teams into Pokemon video. So, if you wanted to see more Pokemon just like this one, go check out that video. After this one, of course. This is Capristorm, a flying and electric type. Capristorm are found racing through the grasslands of the Midway region. For a long time, these Pokemon were thought to be the creators of the thunderstorms that once ravaged the Midway region. However, science shows that they just follow the storms as they use lightning for energy. For the sports teams video, I combined the two teams Wichita Windsurge and Wichita Thunder, both found in Kansas, to create Capristorm. Okay. It's finally time for Jidamunk's urban and rural forms. But before I show these off, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot, and it only helps to make more Midway region. Perhaps even someday, you might just learn what causes this strange energy to give some Pokemon the urban and rural forms. That being said, I want to show you the process I go through when creating an urban and rural form for a Pokemon. For Jidamunk in particular, I wanted to make at least one of its forms into a psychic type, being that the word chipmunk already has monk in it, albeit a different spelling. This being said, I remember the fact that there's a large population of Hmong Chinese people found in the Midwest, so I thought it'd be a fun nod to them by making Jidamunk's urban form into something that resembles a Buddha, even though Hmong people themselves might not be Buddhists. Since the process of different people groups moving into a new place has generally to do with urbanization, at least in the modern day, I wanted Jidamunk's rural form to take that of a native approach. From the different native groups found in the Midwest, they tell the story of a chipmunk getting its stripes after being in conflict with a bear. With the idea of conflict and the urban Jidamunk getting the psychic typing, I wanted this form to contrast with the fighting type. With this, it can also beat all of the current bear Pokemon of Beartic, Ursaluna, and Pangoro, all with super effective damage. So, bringing a Jidamunk to East Side in the urban zone will allow it to change. This is Urban Jidamunk, an electric and psychic type. This form of Jidamunk feasts on the mental energies of those around it, but people have only recently discovered that will only take away the negative thoughts, as it wishes to help process the negative thoughts into happy ones. Bringing a Jidamunk to Fort Cheetah Buff in the Whirl Zone will allow it to change. This is Whirl Jidamunk, an electric and fighting type. This form of Jidamunk will do anything it can to get into a good fight. It loves to train, and will do so all day long if left alone. They want to become the strongest around, but it will often get into fights that it can't win. So, those are all the electric type Pokemon of the Midway region. But wait, that's not all. I want to introduce you to a particular character in the Midway region. This is Lou Man. He is an inspector here in the Midway region, and works not only for Me Energies, but also for the Pokemon League. Look here, this is a Glid card, aka a Gym Leader Identification card, meaning Lou here is Midway Zone Electric type Gym Leader. Like all Gym Leaders in Midway, Lou has a job outside of Pokemon battling. Try and battle Lou when he isn't working, which, good luck. Just look at this guy, he's always working. You will find yourself with a classic one-on-one gym battle, but battle Lou when he is working and you'll find yourself with a unique battle experience. Let's take a look. Finding Lou at work, you are faced by not just him, but his team of inspectors. The battle starts, and it is a double battle. However, throughout the battle, Lou's team of Me Energy inspectors will be calling out different kinds of moves they want to inspect. They might ask, "Let me see you use a physical move," and both you and Lou will need to fulfill this task. If not, then we'll get a stat lowered depending on what they called out. They could even ask, "Let me see a super effective attack," or "Let me see a stat boosting move." You will have 2 turns to complete each task, but as a downside, they will only ever call out tasks that they know Lou can complete with the Pokemon he has out on the battlefield, so it's rigged from the start. Do you think you could defeat Lou in a battle? It's going to be tough, as the odds are against you from the start. Defeating Lou in battle will reward you with the Shocker Badge, and will make you 1 step closer to the Pokemon League. Next up is the Fighting type, and we are going through the list 1 type at a time. Looking at this chart, let me know in the comments what type you might want to see next. If you haven't noticed yet, there's been a new gym leader for each of these videos, and that's not just because I'm doing the types with the gym leaders first. It's because in Midway, there's a gym leader for every type. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Midway, and keep those running shoes on, trainers.